But I really don't know what to say tonight. This whole experience has been a complete shock for me. For most of my career, I've been sitting on the other side of the evenings like this as a staff member, worrying about details, logistics, and quietly wondering, how long is this person going to talk? So tonight is different in a lot of ways. And to anyone checking their watch already, I see you. I was you. Recently, Rick Riddle, who you've seen tonight, my former boss when I was at the CGA, called me. Rick and I have played in CGA events together, so I assumed he was calling to invite me to another one-day event. We'll talk about a super senior tournament, since we're about the same age and have been rapidly entered the 4T stage of life. Instead, he told me about this evening, and that would be on February 14th. And I was completely caught off guard by not the February 14th, but the fact that I was in the Hall of Fame. After I hung up and let it sink in, I went to tell my wife, Deanne. Without fully disclosing Rick's conversation to me, I told her I had a great idea for Valentine's Day. I said, I have made reservations to celebrate our 35 years of marriage. We're going to the Carolina Hotel. Romantic dinner, pre-selected menu, drinks beforehand. And if we played our cards right, we would not have to pay for our meal. What I didn't tell her, that there would be a couple hundred of our best friends here in the room joining us for this romantic evening. So, Deanne, happy Valentine's Day. I love you. Thank you. And to all the other ladies in here, spending tonight listening to Bob and me and the others talk about Valentine's Day, we promise, we're talking about golf, so we promise to be passionate, okay? I do want to pause and congratulate all of tonight's award winners, our Players of the Year, championship winners. Dawn, what a feat. Great job. Proud of you. You now join the USGA Wall of Champions. Over the years here at the CGA and the Hall of Fame, we've seen people like Beth Daniel, Chip Beck, Carolyn Cudone, Bill Haas, Dustin Johnson, and many others come through. And there were other great champions who went on to be wildly successful outside of golf. And now all you award winners are all part of that history now. So congratulations to you. And congratulations as well to the family of Linda. Where's Paige and them? Linda, you know, she was special. She's receiving the Charles E. Lynch Jr. Award, which Charles is just, he's up there with Richard Tufts. He's up there with Richard Tufts on what he did for the CGA. Just fantastic. So this award is aptly named. I know you know Charlie, and it's just fitting that Linda would get it. Linda created a remarkable legacy, raising a family of great people, great golfers, while changing the lives of countless junior golfers, especially young girls. Her influence is lasting, and this recognition is well-deserved. So I know your mom and dad are in heaven looking down on you. And to Bob Dedman, where's Bob? All right, Bob. Thank you for the nice quotes and comments about me. I was gone from my chair when you were looking over at me, and I promise I just had to go to the bathroom. I did not skip your speech for any other reason, but it didn't take long, and I sat there in the back. But it's truly an honor to share the stage with you and your dad tonight. What your family has done for golf here in the Carolinas is extraordinary and permanent. One of the best moves you all made was hiring Pat Corso. Pat, you're right there. Your name's come up a few times tonight, but Pat Corso, you mentioned earlier about providing the resources and picking the right people. Pat was the guy, and he did a remarkable job who helped lead the cause. From bringing the U.S. Open here to Pinehurst in '99 to what we see across Moore County today, the USGA Hall of Fame and the satellite headquarters, the massive road renovations going on, never-ending projects, and the economic boom over the next tens of years, it all traces back to your family's vision. When Mr. Corso, Pat here, and friends secured the 1999 U.S. Open, everything else followed. Your award tonight is well earned, and your legacy will be long-lived. So congratulations to that. To continue on the Dedman topic, I want to tell one quick story about how Bob Dedman saved Michelle Wie from possibly losing the 2014 U.S. Women's Open and saved me from total embarrassment. So, Tori, if you got the controls, can you turn that up? All right, we got the picture up there, okay? And I just thought it was so crazy that Bob and I are up here tonight. And so I've had this picture, and I said, I've got to share this story. This was taken June 22nd, 2014. In the final round of the 2014 U.S. Women's Open, I was serving as an observer for the final group, which had Michelle Wie in it, which is real. An observer is just a fancy way to say I was a spotter, okay? I had to find the ball and see where it went. My one job that way was to stay ahead of the group and locate golf balls that might go astray. Michelle had like a 3 or 4 shot lead going into the 16th hole, that difficult par 4. She hit her tee shot into the right bunker, and then hit her second shot from that bunker towards the right side near the green. Now, I'm down there about 30, 50 yards left of the green on the left side in the trees, just kind of watching it. I lost the ball completely in the clouds. Didn't see it land, didn't see it bounce, didn't see anything. 5 minutes was the maximum allowed search time back then, and the clock was ticking. Spectators heard something land right 10 yards from the ball, but no one had seen it, including me. And let me remind you, my resume for that day included exactly one skill, and I was blowing it. 2 minutes into the search, I'm thinking I might have cost Michelle Wie the U.S. Women's Open. 2.5 minutes in, I'm mentally updating my LinkedIn profile. At 3 minutes, I'm plotting my disappearance. I was a nervous wreck. We had everyone searching. You see Roger Maltby with NBC, the caddies, the NBC crew, Tom O'Toole, and Bob Dedman. Pretty much anyone allowed inside the ropes with that final group. At the height of my despair, I look over and I see Bob Dedman pointing to the ball, which was sitting really under a wave of wiregrass like a surfing rider riding a perfect tube. And that's Bob pointing to that ball, which saved Michelle Wie and saved my embarrassment for life. We've never talked about it, Bob, but thank you for saving Michelle and for saving me from a lifetime of shame. That day, you entered my personal Hall of Fame. All right, you can change the picture or whatever else you want to. Oh, me? Okay. Golf has shaped nearly every part of my life. About 95% of the friends in this room, and you think about it, I met because of golf. Through volunteering, tournaments, playing, or just working together. Without golf, a lot of our lives will look vastly different and frankly much more boring. My own path involved a lot of luck and good timing, which, as we all know, is sometimes the best strategy in golf. One of those serendipitous moments included David Norman. Where's David? David's back there. He was working with the CGA, and I was working as a part-time manager after my years at Wake Forest. I was working with the golf team there. David and I were roommates. David mentioned a job opening at the CGA. That single conversation changed my life. Once again, because of golf, I gained not just a career, but another lifelong friend. So, David, thank you. I owe you. I'm grateful to the CGA Executive Committee for hiring me in 1984, which is the year y'all bought Pinehurst. How about that? And even more grateful for not firing me I had the privilege of working under 22 presidents and an outstanding board who'd offer guidance while trusting our staff to do the work. That balance is rare, and that's why the CGA remains strong today. And the staff, I know you're out there, both past and present. Many of you who are here tonight, we had a lot of laughter, some tense moments, and of course, many long hours together. And I got to tell you, our staff members are innovative, they're great thinkers, and excellent team players. And that's continued on and on and on. And I have always said one of my best feats was hiring good people. They made me look good, and I thank you for that. Speaking of staff and some laughter, I need to tell you about one of my funnier moments. I've told this before to some of you in the room, but it's just one of my favorites, and it's too good not to share with the group. Andy, you'll remember this. Daryl Tubner and Andy were visiting a golf course in western North Carolina. And the course will go nameless for obvious reasons you'll find out. But it was kind of just a small in course, and the owner was very proud of his property and was boasting about all he had done to turn that land into a golf course. And now this golf course was not exactly high end like I talked about. Andy and Daryl are standing with the owner over the golf course looking broadly at the landscape. And the owner says, "You guys, back in the day, I wasn't sure if I should keep this as a family farm or turn it into a golf course." After a long pause, Daryl says, "So what did you decide?" Oh, my goodness. I just love that one. They probably dropped membership from the Golf Association, but man, that tickled me so. I want to go on and talk about my hometown club, Coharie Country Club. And I got a bunch of buddies here who are members of Coharie and just special people to me. It's not a fancy club, doesn't have valet parking or shoeshine boys, but it's filled with honest people. A lot of pickup trucks and strong values. Well, mostly strong values. But friendships are there and have lasted a lifetime. It's unbelievable what this club does as growing up. And you don't see it. It's just the right size club. And we're not pretentious. Everybody keeps everybody else in line. You can't get too big. And if you're in a bad place, we'll come by and we'll be the first to help you get through it as well. But it's a low-budget club of sorts, but it has a high budget of friends. For 42 consecutive years, a lot of those friends of mine, which are down here, have taken an annual buddy trip, which I'm sure like you have. We're going to be doing our 43rd consecutive trip this year. We call it the Booglodite Bash, and I'm not going to explain that name at all tonight, but it's got a name. The trip involves the normal sins of playing golf, some poker, a few drinks, and enjoying each other's company, and much more early bedtimes now than it used to be. And just enough bad decisions to make next year's stories even better. We've played great courses and some that are less than great, but we all agree it doesn't matter. It never mattered where we played so long as we're all with each other and hanging out. Golf has a unique way of keeping friendships alive for decades. It is truly a game of a lifetime. And all of you in this room tonight have influenced me, whether you know it or not, either directly or indirectly. And I thank you for that. Over the years, I've learned that getting mentored involves a lot of watching and observing, and not always that one life-changing moment. It's gradual. I've been mentored by watching and observing people, especially my bosses, and watching how they handle their decisions with both business and with family. And with that being said, I want to recognize a few people that have mentored me. 3 people, or 4 actually. One of those is Hale Van Hoy. And some of you old schoolers in here remember Hale Van Hoy. He was my boss at the CGA and hired me. It was hard to imagine the same man who ran all those junior golf tournaments basically by himself in the early 80s and late 70s that would be my boss one day. And that was really cool. A few of us here had the opportunity to work with Hale. Frank Ford, I know Frank's here, I think. David Norman, Ray Novicki. We all had the opportunity to get to know Hale. I think the best thing Hale taught me was fairness and that everyone deserves to be treated the same. Hale didn't care for the show-offs or those who boasted wealth or fame or ego. It just drove him crazy. He would call them out on it. He had more of an affection for the underdog or those who were true and honest to others. Part of Hale's M.O. was humor, and I think I learned a lot from him. He can tell a joke like nobody else. He had a stable of jokes and was great with his delivery. One of his favorite lines was when anyone would ask him if he's going to someone's funeral, and he would always come back and say, "Why should I? They're not coming to mine." So, of course, when Hale passed away in 2016 at the age of 87, David and I were there. I had the opportunity to speak it there, and I told that joke one more time because Hale would have wanted it that way. A second big influence in my life was Coach Jesse Haddock at our college, Wake Forest. He taught me how to be shrewd, and I say that in a good way. He fit that definition so well as he was sharp, perceptive, and good at making smart judgments. He could really read people, especially his golfers, and motivate them in ways you can't teach on a lesson tee. Heck, he won 3 NCAA championships, and I'm not sure if he ever showed up on the practice range to help us at all with our swing. He knew it. That wasn't his M.O. He worked his magic in the office, one-on-one with us, on the road with lectures, in our hotel rooms, and at the turn when we were playing golf. He had something you can't teach, and he gave me an opportunity, which really set me on course for where I ended up. As a team assistant coach, after I finished playing, he let me work there for like a year and a half as a team manager, and that really kept me around golf, and I appreciated that. Thirdly, I want to acknowledge the great combo of my parents, John and Dot Nance. My dad taught me humility. He was a very humble man. And my mom taught me nurturing. They both wanted nothing more than their 5 children to be humble and happy in their own skin. And that lesson stayed with our whole family. They raised 5 of us and left so many life lessons with us that we still share them to this day. My family has been my foundation. I grew up with siblings who remain to this day each other's closest friends, which is either a miracle or proof that our parents did something right. When Bill and I were born, we had 3 sisters, Jean, Debbie, and Susan, waiting to spoil us. To this day, we still enjoy each other's company and make trips together. Thanks to all of them for being here tonight. Steve, you too, in-law. And, of course, I want to talk about my 2 daughters. Where are you? Caroline and Liza, my 2 girls. And they're Liza with Chase and Colby. Liza's the hair designer, and Caroline's a nurse, labor and delivery nurse. And I just want to tell you what great mothers you are, what great people you are, and you make me and your mama proud of you. So keep up the great work. I want to go on and say they've never won a golf tournament and really never cared to. But we got 3 great trophies at home, and they're named Ava, Warner, and Merritt. And Liza has another one on the way, so that'll be number 4, which we're not going to find, or they're not going to find out, so we're not going to find out until the birth. But Ava, you're the oldest granddaughter here tonight. How you doing? You doing good? Love you, girl. And in closing, did I say enough about you, Deanne? I thought I'd cover it, but let me say again, you were there from the beginning. We met. I must have skipped a page. But we met in 1988, give or take a year. but at Camden Country Club. And we were running the Carolinas four-ball there, and my boss, who I mentioned, Hal Van Hoy, introduced us. And we were 2.5 hours apart, and we dated for 2.5 years, and ended up getting married in Camden, which is my second home. Love that place. But Dan was there from the get-go, and thank you for all you've done with our family and raising them, and for hanging out with me as well. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. Again. And in closing, I've been incredibly blessed. My family, they're here. My friends are here. My mentors, maybe not, but they left a mark on me. And a game that has given me far more than I could ever give back. Thank you all. I really appreciate y'all coming tonight, for being a part of this journey, and for honoring me in a way I never, ever would have imagined. Good night.